Theme of the game, American heavy cruisers. Well, we're gonna start with St. Louis because I never see any point in starting in the tier 2s because the tier 2 gameplay is absolutely brain dead. Technically these are still light cruisers, but considering part of the whole deal with this Tech 3 Thursday is starting from scrap and then building our way up to the tier 10, so to say. Der Zipfel, thank you for the 23, my dude.
Soon it's already 2 years.
Indeed. Right, let's see. The St. Louis was actually a ship. Thank you very much for the 23. That's a long ass time, by the way. Shinagashima, thank you for the 22 as well. Yeah, St. Louis was actually one of those ships that was really considered really overpowered for a long time. It was actually one of the most first early seal clubbing ships. It was just considered really strong because, first of all, the ship is extremely hard to citadel. Like, the citadel is trolley. It's got good armor on it, and it's got that weird turtleback that works really well at low tier. So you end up getting pens, but actually getting citadels involved punching through the outer and the inner citadel armor. So getting citadels on this thing is actually really hard at low tiers. And this is one of the reasons why this was such a beast, and everyone kind of loved this ship because, well, not only are you very tanky because of that American turtleback, but you also have an absolute shit ton of guns. A lot of Daka DPM. Later on, when they added IFHE, the fact that you have 152mm guns meant, of course, that you penned everything at your tier with IFHE. But we're not going to be specking for IFHE, of course, because we are a new player with a new captain. Provided you can use 25 doubloons or you used your first captain that you started the game with, if you even have, well, provided this isn't your very first line, you will have access to a captain. So the basic things we want, first we check turret traverse. 30 seconds, we can deal with that, so we're gonna spec Adrenaline Rush. Expert Marksman is also an option, simply because 30 seconds on a cruiser can be a bit sketchy. Module-wise, let's see. We want the guns as soon as possible, simply because the guns are a raw reload buff. You go from 10 to 9 second reload, 10% DPM buff. You want that stuff as soon as possible. Also, you get a significant turret traverse buff. So that is very tasty. On the other hand, your default range is pretty damn neutered at 11 kilometers. So, considering you want to be going for the Phoenix, you could just try to save time and you go straight for the range. And you work your way to the Phoenix because you want the cruisers. And you entirely skip this. But if you actually want to enjoy the St. Louis, then going for the hull and getting the gun upgrade is absolutely worth it. The hull gives you a small chunk of health. It doesn't actually increase your gun count in it. Wait, does it increase your gun count? Yes, it does. I spoke. You go from 10 to 14 guns. So, well, you can go for the gun range and go straight for the cruisers. If you do go fully spec this thing out, not only do you gain 4 guns, but you also gain the turret traverse and the reload later on. And in this stage, this ship is quite a damn monster. Oh, and another thing to worth mentioning is, of course, that not only is this very tanky with a lot of firepower, it also has almost 30,000 health. Now, 30,000 health, you're well, what's the big deal with 30k health? I mean, if we look at, let's see, the Japanese tier 3 Tenrya, and we look at his health pool at 17.7, and his citadel that basically covers the entire ship, as we covered with 63mm armor, then we start understanding just how goddamn tanky this St. Louis is when only the outer layer is almost twice the armor, and then it's got that internal layer as well. So this thing is a tanky monster compared to pretty much every single other cruiser in the game. We go for turret survivals, since we got a ton of turrets and we want them to survive. Oh shit, that might be my package. 1 second, worst time. Shit, I got a package. I need to go open that stuff. He will be at my door in just a second. Well, we'll pimp this thing out in between. I apologize for the slight distractions here. We of course go for the rudder shift. It's kind of the bread and butter on cruisers in general. If you tend to get citadel a lot and lose your engine like German cruisers, then you would go for the engine survival. But as I mentioned, very well protected, very good armor on this thing, which is what makes the higher tier cruisers after this, tier 4 and tier 5, kind of nasty, because you lose a lot of that value. Flag-wise, I generally don't recommend wasting flags at low tier, even though speed is pretty nice because it's so slow. But if you want to do something, increase your firing chance. When you got a lot of guns, with small caliber, fast reload, then the bonuses you gain from this, it might not look like much, or 1 more percentage, but the actual benefit is pretty goddamn huge. Dildo package. God, I got busted again. Thank you. Thank you. How did you know? You read my mind. You're back. He's here now. Back. God damn it. Well, now the stream shall not be interrupted anymore. Of course, he couldn't come half an hour earlier. No, it had to be right after I started my stream. Body pillow? Yes, that's exactly. That's also... it was a package of dildos and body pillows. How did you know? Whoa, what's this? I got the Igor camo? Well, we might as well mount it. Might as well mount it for the shits and giggles. I think it was a pretty good looking camo, wasn't it? Oh man. Yeah, it's... quite nice looking, isn't it? I don't even remember where I got it from, but why not? A man has needs, exactly. A trap shima. What the hell? What is wrong? Chat. You are very questionable at times. I don't know if you guys have been told this, but you are in fact very, very questionable at times. Can't use that camo and not use ram signals, really. What do you think about the Buffalo Reload buff? It's nice.
You're known to be a humble man, but I wonder.
I think I am actually.
US Pavaka or USP Avaka? Ah, US Pavaka. Thank you for the 9, my dude. Wait, why didn't it do the text-to-speech thing? Am I missing something? It did the 9 months, but it didn't do the text-to-speech thing. Oh, that's a thonker. Thank you, I am bad at life, for the sub as well. Right, what kind of matchmaking do we got? Ooh, streamer matchmaking. That's what we got. This is that flag, by the way.
General quarters.
What is this 111 code about? 111? Huh? What on earth are people talking about? Let's see, what's our gun range is 12.5 and our concealment is 10 point. Really, 10.7? Wow, this is such a good seal clubber though. Simply because... Shippy, thank you for the 4 months.
Hey Flamu, have you heard of Twitch Prime?
Ah, I've heard some rumors. Why did your text-to-speech work but US Pavakas didn't? I don't understand. Thank you very much though. But yeah, this is such a good seal clubber though. 10.7 concealment, then you had a concealment expert, then you had other IFHE and stuff like that. Holy shit. I had bugged chat, perhaps that's why. It's possible. No face cam today. Usually I only do face cam if I do Turned of Tuesday. Or the exception has been when there's massive subtrains. Massive subtrains has been the... It's usually... I like to keep it something of a, like, special thing. Ooh, let's see if we can go farm this guy. What's the shell velocity like? Probably pretty damn slow.
Enemy cruiser detected. Enemy battleship sighted.
Pretty good lead. Damn, yeah, the shell velocity is very slow. Oh, no hits, no resets. Ow.
The ship is on fire.
I should be undetected. Bit of a risky damage con there. Normally you don't want to damage con single fires in a cruiser. But I figured I'd be undetected, so maybe I can use it to farm. We lost vision though. Annoying timing. Whoa. Detonation. Where's the battleship? Holy shit, they got a lot of things here. See, he damage con well spotted. That's very sketchy. This guy pushing up is also very sketchy. You saw how her rudder broke? And he's got no damage con? That's why I mentioned you run the rudder module.
Confirmed penetration.
That's some interesting dispersion. Low tier DDs are so hard to hit when they YOLO, simply because your dispersion is normally not that good, especially in battleships, but more importantly they're so very small. They're low in the water and extremely small size, so getting a lot of consistent hits on them can be very, very difficult.
Torpedoes to starboard.
Did he ground? My Turen parked in front of him.
The enemy team has taken the
I don't want to sound defeatist, chat, but I think this is going to be a hard game. Yeah, I think my BB just got stuck. Also, small D, like YOLOing, that's one of the things I don't like about low tier, is that how it teaches you a lot of bad things. Like, for example, YOLOs in DDs are super effective in low tier. Like, you do that in high tier and you just get instantly blapped. But in low tier, you can get away with it, simply because the DD is so small and so hard to hit. And the problem is, they do that shit, and they learn that, hey, wow, did you see that? I just soloed a battleship. That was amazing. I'm gonna do that again and again and again. And then when they reach high tier and they keep doing it, they just insta die. That's the problem. Korea, 20 months.
YOLO FTW barbecue WTF LOL.
Wow. Very insightful message, thank you. I hadn't thought of it from that perspective.
Enemy battleship sighted.
He's just running in.
Enemy cruiser sighted.
That's probably no last stand. The Wix sits much higher in the water than that other ship. They're having a much easier time landing hits on this guy. Come on, guns, you can do it. Anytime now. Whenever you feel like it, guns. Anytime now. Come on. Come on. Come on. Take your time. Take your time. Like, this shit would never work in high tier. Low tier, though, you can get away with it. Because, as I mentioned, the DDs are very small, the dispersion is very questionable. So shit like that works in low tier. Shit like that would obviously never work in high tier, but low tier, the magic happens. And that's what I mean about teaching you a lot of bad habits.
Enemy destroyer detected.
Is that a damage core? Interesting. But only I gotta fire. See, I'm very RNG dependent on killing something this tanky. I need a fire on him. There we go. We get another fire on his nose? Doesn't look like it.
Our team depends upon you.
That's unfortunate. Burn to death, please. I'll help you along a bit.
Enemy battleship sunk.
Ideally, I would kill this before his team kill this guy before his team arrives. Because if I keep kiting, his team will arrive, and then instead of being a 1 versus 1, I'll have to deal with all their DPM. But in a 1 versus 1, St. Louis is really fucking strong.
The ship is on fire.
Some unfortunate RNG with the fire. Can't be helped. AP would probably be quite good here, but the thing is HE is so consistent.
The enemy is about to win.
On these low tier ships you tend to get so many overpens, it's usually safer to just go for the HE. Oh, that was a risky damage con, because I could get set on fire now.
Enemy cruiser foundered.
Okay, no fire. That's pretty fortunate. The thing is though, it's probably still impossible to win this game, because not only did my team lose the straight up battle, they also lost all cap control. And one of the great weaknesses of the St. Louis is the fact that it's incredibly goddamn slow. So even if I knew I know one is down at A, but can I afford to leave C uncontested? The time it takes me to sail down here, I might already lose the game. So I need to delay the points at some point. The problem is St. Louis down A. Even if the St. Louis has no idea what to do, if he like tries to comes up here to fight me, the fact is that my ship is so slow and there's so little time left that there's really nothing I can do. St. Louis? Oh yeah, I'm pronouncing it like the French St. Louis, but it's St. Louis, isn't it? Because it's the American. My bad, I apologize. I remember when the French one came out, I kept calling it St. Louis, and people were super annoyed. And I think then I changed it, and now I call both of them the same. Anything to trigger chat, you're welcome. So where's the Weymouth at? Where is the Weymouth at? Ayala. Thank you for the sub, my dude. Well, them both Santa Lucia, problem solved. Like the idea. Wonder what happened to this Weymouth cruiser. Please tell me he's here. He might be down here. He might be chasing me like this. Probably is chasing me like. I only have 2 minutes left. Can I afford to take the risk of turning around and hoping he's going around this way? Let's do it. Increasing my concealment. No. Is he coming this way? Sailing behind me, chasing me. Please. At this point, it's just pure luck. If I run into him or not. My hope is that he's pushing up this way, and then I got a minute time to kill him, which is unlikely to happen. Oh, he's here. Nice. Tell me he's very low HP and he wants to fight me. Oh fuck, he's full HP. At least our AR coming in useful. St. Louis DPM is really disgusting if you sail like I'm doing, bringing all your guns to bear. Especially with AR and me being this low HP. It doesn't even feel fair compared to the other low tiers. If you imagine this is what I can do with a 3-point captain,
We've destroyed an enemy
then you understand just how ridiculous this ship is when you're running like a 19-point captain on this thing. If you run like, you add in IFHE, you add in Demo Expert, you add in even Survivability Expert or whatever. Like as a Seal Clubber, this was one of the original Seal Clubbers because it was so fucking strong at it. But even with a 3-point captain, even with just like a fresh captain with no skills, it's still a monster of a ship. They nerfed it, but even after the nerf, having both tankiness and firepower on a cruiser, especially at low tiers where HE is so strong, it's a monstrous combination. But yeah, this game is gonna end, nothing I can do. I have no idea where the last enemy ship is, so there's really no recovering from this one. Thank you, the Asmo, for the sub. I appreciate it, my dude. Much appreciate the sub, my dude. But yeah, when it comes to Seal Clubbers, St. Louis, it's kind of the original Seal Clubbing monster. Very, very strong. Very, very strong. Huh. We can look at the Battleship Damage. Carrier, thank you for the bits. The Battleship Damage, as you can see, you can't really get citadels on this thing. And even when you land HE shells, it's very tempting to hit the broadside, but if you hit the broadside, you're just shattering.
I think I am actually humble. I think I'm much more humble than you would understand.
If you hit the broadside, you're just shattering your HE, which is kind of like a bait. Oh, look at this broadside, let me shoot HE right at the broadside, and then you're just shattering all on this. Drunk Pola, thank you for the 3 months, my dude. I appreciate it. The wrist is squishy, but if you angle like this, even the citadel becomes angled, and it's not that easy to get. Like, angling like this is probably the best. You can bring all your guns to bear against the battleship. This is the I basically had this angle. When the battleship was chasing me, I had this angle. He shoots the belt. He'll get... he'll pen the outer belt, but he won't be able to pen the inner layer, the turtleback. And overmatching the stern requires some pretty accurate hits, since it's a fairly small target. So if he shoots here, he'll probably get overpens. He can get a citadel if he gets it just right from this angle. But low tier battleship accuracy, for those that have played low tier battleships, you probably know that they're absolute garbage when it comes to dispersion. So unlikely, very, very unlikely to happen. Right, and then we go from enjoying this tankiness, this raw firepower and tankiness, then we go to the Phoenix. and we basically lose everything we just had. Everything that made us strong. Like, if you look at the stock Phoenix, you already get an idea of what kind of goddamn experience it is. You go from, let me highlight this. You go from having 14 guns with a 9-second reload. You can bring 7 to bear per broadside. So you go from 7 guns, and then you go to the Phoenix, and suddenly you have 6 guns with a 10-second reload. Note, with a 10-second reload. The 7 guns you had a 9-second reload. So the Phoenix upgrade, especially at the start, can be kind of jarring. Also, suddenly you go from this greatly protected citadel. The St. Louis citadel has like 100 and something armor, plus another 70-ish armor on the turtleback. The Phoenix has the basically only the turtleback armor, except it's not a turtleback, it's just squishy. So this thing is unlike the St. Louis, which I would happily take fights, I would push in and take fights with. In this thing we have to play completely different. Probably range first, because you don't want to get anywhere close to anyone.
Where did all my guns go, Phoenix players?
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much, yeah. Thank you very much for the bits. I would probably, you go range or hull. I think it's up to you how you play it, but in general you want to maintain your distance in this thing. The hull upgrade does give you a nice chunk of health and a bit of rudder shift. You actually gain 2 guns as well, so in terms of DPM, the hull upgrade is also very nice. Once you get the B hull though, upgrading to the C hull I think gives you 2 guns as well. Where does the guns go actually? Let me see. I think you get front guns, main turrets +2. Ah. But on the other hand, this thing gives you... Oh, the DPM increase from the gun upgrade is just better. This is such a massive upgrade. Holy crap. Yeah, you absolutely go for main guns first. And then when you have the guns, then we go for this upgrade. Absolutely in that order. Absolutely in that order. 3-second reload buff. Very nice. Once you're fully upgraded in the Phoenix, then you actually can start enjoying some actual DPM on the ship, because now we got the nice juicy 10 guns. We can't use all of them, of course, because they're on both sides, but I think you can bring something like a 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you only bring 4 guns to bear? Surely you can bring more guns I hope you can bring more guns to bear. So if you only can bring maybe 5 guns to bear on the target. Is it 5-gun broadside? I think it's a 5-gun broadside. Well, the shell velocity is pretty damn good. That's not much of a broadside though. The thing with the Sea Hull is, of course, you finally get access Hydro. And Hydro at low tiers is pretty meme worthy. Mostly because in terms of effectiveness it's pretty questionable because it's only 4 kilometers. But most low tier DDs have no idea what the hell Hydro is. So when you push into them with Hydro, most of the time they just sit there scratching their balls wondering what the hell is going on. What camo do I want to use? Oh wow, this is an exciting looking camo. Let's put this one on. I wanna blend in with the ocean so no one can hit me. What are your thoughts on all AP secondaries being converted to HE? Well, I mean, it actually makes secondary builds a lot more valuable. That's really what it comes down to. All of the ships that... The problem is the people who ran secondary... I mean, I think Yamato, for example, I saw a lot of people running secondary builds on Yamato, which already from a basic game understanding point of view, it's an awful goddamn idea. Because the bread and butter of that ship is mid to long range and the gun power. If you try to use secondaries, that means you're pushing into brawling range, which is already really stupid. But more than that, you're also... You're making yourself vulnerable and you're not focusing on the strength of the ship at all. Still though, now those people will be gaining a buff. That's pretty much it. I got a bunch of special captains I need to remember to use at some point. Let's boost this guy. Go. How many points do we have at this tier? Do we have... Tier 4. How many points do you have at Tier 4, chat? 6? 5? 5? 5, 6? 5 to 6 points. Okay. 5 to 6 points. Well, let's put it. This point, fire chance. You want to go, basically, you want to spec fire chance until we get to the point that you want to spec superintendent, which is much, much later in the game. Brawler Yamato is fun. Maybe stupid, but it's fun. Sure, it might be a lot of fun, but it's also terrible. It's a fundamental misunderstanding of what makes the ship good. Now though, the secondaries will of course be much stronger. Someone will probably do a comparison. But the thing is, of course, the reason why AP Citadel or AP secondaries was always complete garbage is because secondaries by default target the Citadel. That's where the auto lock-on works. Like that's where bots aim. Bots aim for the Citadel. So when they coded the secondaries, they also made the secondaries work like basically bot targeting. So they always target the Citadel. This is naturally a problem because all your AP is obviously going to be shattering. You're not actually going to be penning anything. And in general, and if the ship was nose in, then you're shooting AP straight at the nose, and once again you're going to be bouncing. So the actual damage of AP secondaries was usually complete garbage. That's why secondaries that have good pen, for example German secondaries, or secondaries that have a high fire chance, are usually much more effective.
Action stations.
Scott AG, 16 months.
Jap cruisers getting buffed. Am I seeing things?
I know, right? It's crazy. I can't wait until the buff hits. Absolutely gonna. I think maybe if you know what would be really spicy, if my chat votes for IGN cruisers for next Tech Tree Thursday, if the patch comes out before that. Then we can go do a playthrough of the patched or of the buffed IGN cruisers. That could be pretty spicy. Right, anyway. Tier 4. This time we don't want to be pushing in the same way. What happens when you go from the St. Louis to the Phoenix is basically you trade all your tankiness and your health and a bit of your raw firepower. You trade it for a lot more maneuverability and access to torpedoes. 5.5 km range. How many did you have? It was 3 per side. Good angles are pretty decent. We got some good shell velocity as well. Compared to St. Louis, our shell velocity is much better. That's the gameplay I want to see. Should we tell him his torps are 4 kilometers? Why bother?
Torpedoes, direct front. Torpedoes, dead ahead.
Why bother? I think he got 3 or 4 km torps. He's launching wide spreads from the backline. I wonder why he's pink. What a mystery. How could that have happened to him? Probably a bug. Some sort of glitch. You know you're shooting a Dane when you're citadeling him with HE.
Torpedoes, direct front.
Good lord, that pink guy is real scary.
Torpedoes to starboard.
That pink guy is actually terrifying. At low tiers, your biggest threat is your teammates, like by far. Oh shit, that's a scare. Oof. Comes the money. We are gonna angle away and try to disengage a bit here. Thank you, Sober Terror, for buying the Toxic t-shirt. See if we can use the islands as cover.
Obviously, the
less
environment down here is all
exposed
salt. The
to
ceiling
that
is salt, the
AP.
floor is salt, the walls are salt, and to an extent, the air is salt.
The dispersion also seems much better compared to St. Louis. Empty speed kills, thank you for the 28. That's a broken engine. Keep an eye out on the battleships. Valkyrie.
Our team has taken the lead.
He is slowing down.
Enemy cruiser detected.
Looks like he's spotted by the vampire. Nice.
Enemy destroyer blown up. Our team has taken the lead.
The downside with this increased range is, of course, you're spotted very easily while firing. That's torps on the Ishii, so that obviously means his use damage gone, which means he's a priority target for us. Getting rid of a big tier 4 battleship, that's one of our major threats, would be really useful. Oh well, that's one fire.
Enemy destroyer sighted.
It's a second fire. Now we aim for his nose, see if we can get a fire on the nose as well.
Our team has taken the lead.
And we of course angle away. That's right. We got a nose on the... Note that if you want to start multiple fires, you need to hit different sections of the ship. Now I'm trying to hit the stern to get a fire on the stern as well. I don't know if it's a fan or something, since he's ignoring the Kolberg and going for me. Stream sniper or something. I don't know what's going on, but he goes down. Multiple fires burns him to
Our
death.
team has taken the lead.
Very questionable for him to shoot me instead of the stationary Kolberg. Or even one of the destroyers. But, you know, that's kind of streamer life. He's your sub? Really? Questionable display. He just posted in Potato Lounge.
Our team has taken the lead.
Nice. So the battleship died. Now we finally get to use one of the tools I mentioned, which is Hydro. First we're gonna focus this guy. Hello.
So if you see my sub in years, I can finally go drinking together with it in Germany. Yes, I ran out of ideas for this message.
Stop shooting AP, I'm trying to dodge torps.
Enemy destroyer sunk.
Nah. That guy really wanted to Citadel me, huh? But then again, if you're a Phoenix, you gotta be expecting that. Everyone wants to Citadel you, because everyone knows you have a massive Citadel. The Killer Felix, thank you for the 16 months, by the way. I appreciate it. Pretty questionable game. I wonder, was this guy like... This guy must have been very new. This was the Dursky that was torping from the back. He must be very, very new at the game. I think it was one of his first games. Yeah, that's strange. Isn't there supposed to be such a matchmaking that if you go to low tier, you don't end up against the newer players? Isn't there supposed to be such a matchmaking? Because this guy literally just picked up the game. And you could tell by the way he was playing that he had, like, he legit had no idea what was going on. And that's understandable if you're a new player, but I'm just wondering, I thought they changed the matchmaking? Or is it only for tier 1 and 2? How many PvE matches? Not many. He's legit just a new. Registered, well, he registered in March, but I guess he hasn't played until now. Might just have made the account a while ago and only started playing now. Should be related to account level. Took me 50 matches to figure out I'm playing versus bots. I mean, it's kind of confusing in the start because it doesn't really tell you it's PvE. It just tells you it's co-op, and co-op can be many things. It's a bit sketchy, and a lot of people make that mistake. Or reroll. I doubt it. Still, key things to keep in mind when you're playing the Phoenix is literally you have lost all the tankiness you had in the past. This thing gets overmatched so easily. I don't think you guys understand how easily your own guns, your 152mm guns, can overmatch your own armor. So if a Phoenix goes nose in towards you, you can keep shooting AP at it and you can overmatch it. That's how squishy it is. That's how sad low tier armor is. For those wondering, the formula is you multiply the armor by 14.3. So if you take, for example, an armor that has a nice flat solid value like 10, then you can obviously calculate that you need 143mm to pin it. And since you have 152mm guns yourself, you can easily overmatch it. So if a Phoenix goes nose in, just AP him straight through the nose, and you can citadel him. And if he gives broadside, well, there's even more to citadel. So yeah, keep that in mind. Very, very thin armor, and you want to avoid shots. You don't want to tank shots. You want to dodge shots. Whereas in the St. Louis, you can easily tank them. You don't want to do it in the Phoenix. And you most certainly don't want to do it in the Omaha either, which is our follow-up ship. I think you start. How many points do you have at this point? I'm gonna put Alexander Ovechkin to use. I don't think you have a 10-point captain yet. How many points do you have at? Because if I'm gonna be leveling a captain, I might as well level up Ovechkin. I think you have around 8 at 5. I think 8 points maybe. I have 6, 7, 8. Let's go with 7 then. So at this point, we're just gonna be saving points. We'll just use 6 points and we'll just save, because then at tier 6 you should have at least 10 points and then we can get concealment expert. So we're just gonna put 6 points to use for the sake of comparison. Are you going heavy or light cruiser? I'm going heavy cruiser, but the thing is, heavy cruiser only splits off after tier 5. So if we want to cover the entire tech tree, then we have to start at the light cruisers. Spec wise, I think you kind of have to go. You have to go range. I don't think there's really an option here. Because if you end up in tier 7 matchmaking and you haven't spec'd into range, well then you're stuck in your squishy little paper cruiser with 13.8 km range. To put that in perspective, that's like the range of the Boise and the Atlanta. And those things have your ship as a secondary, basically. So, yeah. You kind of have to go for the range, in my opinion. It's such a high priority getting the range. So you got at least some comfort when you get up tiered. And once you have the range, you probably want to go for the guns ASAP. Just get that faster reload, get that DPM buff. Not to mention the hull doesn't hurt, so I would probably go hull into reload. And then when you have the reload, then we can get the finer upgrade. But you lose guns though. Hold up. What did this thing do? -2 main turrets. Go from 8 to 6. I think it gives you defensive AA. I think you don't even want to spec this thing. This is if you want to go spec into AA. I think this one unlocks it. We can buy it just to see what we can see. Let's see, we can, what can we spec? We can spec Hydra. We can spec this fighter plane. See what happens when we purchase and mount this thing. So how many guns can we point per broadside? 4. No guns in the... Oh, 4 plus a dual turret. So you can put 6 guns on the broadside with this hull. You can put 6 guns on the broadside with this hull. And you lose... You only have 1 set of torps per side. Use the B hull. You can put 4 in the front. 5, 6, 7, 8. You can put 8 guns on the broadside. Huh? Oh no, this must be... Yeah, what? 7 guns. You lose... I think you lose these guns. And more important, you also lose your YOLO capacity. Yeah, I would absolutely go for the B hull. I don't see the point in the C hull. I think the point was you're able, if you slot this, I think you're able to. No? No defensive AA. Did you just gain AA? Is that really the benefit? You gain AA? Is that fucking all of it? Jesus. Yeah, no. We're gonna go with the B hull. You only lose the lower guns? Yeah, you lose these, huh? But the thing is, more importantly than the guns, you're giving up... The one thing that Omaha actually is pretty damn good at is, if you get to ambush someone, you have a lot of goddamn torps to throw at them. You can launch 6 torps per side for a massive amount of alpha. But if you spec out of it, then you lose half your torps, and what you're getting in return is AA, but you don't have defensive AA to bolster it, so you don't really do much with it to begin with, so... Yeah, we're just gonna go with the B hull. Once again, steering gears. And AA range. Normally, this is, I mean, it doesn't really matter too much what you use on this thing, because it's all kind of sad. if you look up sad in the dictionary, there's a picture of the Omaha there. There's a picture of the Omaha, and then, like, it's the Omaha sitting on a couch, and then behind it you got, like, Julius Caesar, October Revolution, Kamikaze, Gremiashi, standing right behind it. That's the picture of the Omaha you find in the dictionary. So we're not gonna put too much effort into this right here.
You're not known to be a humble man, but I wonder.
I think I am actually humble. I think I'm much more humble than you would understand.
Remember when Omaha was good?
Yeah, I remember when Murmansk was considered overpowered, because the Murmansk was a slightly better Omaha. Like, for some reason, even though the Murmansk was supposed to be an Omaha copy, it actually had like these special Stalinium shells, so you had much better Krupp on the Murmansk. So it was considered overpowered because of this. Now looking back at it.
Sad Omaha frown.
Sad Omaha indeed. Cruz, thank you for the 7 months. And then, of course, the good part of playing Tier 5 is that you...
Big Papa Omaha.
Toast mit Metwurst, thank you for the 2 months. Yeah, the good part about playing Omaha is, of course, you get to enjoy this fantastic matchmaking where you only face Tier 5 and Tier 4 ships every day. Like, this is just how it goes. It's a sunshine and daisies. It's the most pleasant experience you can imagine. Nothing but fun. Always top tier. That's the life of the Omaha. Matchmaking has mercy, indeed.
Viel Glück allen. Verbindlichsten Dank.
Alright. Now you can actually play in low tier. You can play this ship on multiple places. Normally, if you're up tiered in the ship, you want to be careful. You want to maintain your range.
Here we go.
Danny KSP, thank you for buying the maximum sellout mug. At least it's cheaper than Sean Bart. Nice meme, buddy. I need to get that mug for myself as well. Because, I mean, I want to be drinking from that mug during Tone Deaf Tuesday. Because it looks so good. And it's such a fucking sellout. Nice meme, though. Much appreciated, my dude. Oh yeah, we got the American Ovechkin voice, don't we? What's our AA range? 3.7. Wow, that's sick. One angry American going daka 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 daka. One angry American with a Thompson Tommy gun trying to shoot down those planes. Ah shit, that's a conga. Okay, we pushed way too far in. I'm gonna see if we can turn out without being Citadel to shit. Throwing some American AP at that Kiro. Yeah. Now we start cutting away. Didn't lose too much health. I think we're a bit too aggressive then. Our AP is not very good, but these low tier ships have such shit armor that it evens it out. Not that I keep maintaining my distance though. I'm not YOLOing in at any point. You don't want to YOLO in this thing unless... When there's less crossfires, YOLOing in is an option. When there's less crossfires, then it's an option. But when there's basically this much shit that can crossfire you, then it's not a good move. I shot too long. Is it gonna ground? I think it's gonna ground. That's a damage call. Can I see him? No vision. I gotta move because the battleships are gonna shoot me. Wait. He's shooting me? I appreciate it, my dude.
Enemy destroyer blown up.
Come on, Ovechkin! You can't fucking ambush me like that! Fuck! Oh, you little voice. Holy shit. He caught me with my pants down, man. Using my range because we have no armor, but we have good range.
Our team has taken the lead.
Come on, man! Got me some slack here, dude. Angle, 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 angle. Let's see if we can turn in, push in a bit. Koenig is bailing, that's good. Maybe we can play a bit more aggressive. The battleships are being thinned out. The more the battleships get thinned out or removed from the area, the more effective you can be. Could use AP at this point on this guy. Switch to AP actually.
Torpedoes to port.
Thanks for the heads up, Ovechkin. Give me my double strike. Oh, come on. What in Lidl's name was that? Oh, come on! This game, really? Doesn't want to give me any kills. And now the Kirov's behind the island. Lock on, please? Thank you.
We've destroyed an enemy cruiser.
Thank you, Captain Ovechkin. Thanks for the heads up, buddy. I knew I could count on you. Oh, the Emerald Knight. That's a shame. Can you try some of the quick commands?
Stone the crow.
Man up. Ovechkin, truly. Next level voice acting. You can tell some serious effort has been put into that. Using the islands to farm the Honga. Seeing if I can help my carrier shoot down these planes, so I'm no longer detected.
Our victory is in sight.
Thank you. He has no damage con. So fires right now will be very strong. Which usually means that I don't get any fires. That's usually how it goes when I'm shooting a battleship that has used this damage con. I'm aiming too high. Thought it would continue turning, but it's actually not. Hey, one fire. Can I get a second? It's going behind the island. Hey, there we go. Oh. Let's see if we can get closer, get something done. Another little Kraken! Woo!
Our victory is in sight.
Thank you, Captain Ovechkin. Thanks for the heads up, buddy. I appreciate it. think that guy is moving very slow. This guy has a lot of tanky superstructure now. Harder to get those juicy pens. Thank you, Jazargo OE, Overwatch OW, and Herbert Burt. Herbert Burt? Thank you for the sub. Appreciate it, my dude. Appreciate it, my dude. No Kraken though.
That feeling when you finally get a fire on a ship with no damage con and it's back up again.
Welcome to Cruiser life. Kyria, thank you for the 400 bits. But yeah, I mean, if you do get tier 5 matchmaking, then the OMA can feel very, very strong. If you get fortunate enough to get that tier 5 matchmaking. But I was obviously memeing at the start when I said that this is what you always get. Normally, or most commonly, you get thrown into tier 6 or tier 7. But I did try to play this game kinda the way you should play it even at higher tiers, and that's you play it safe. You have range. It might not be amazing range, especially not when up tiered, but you try to use that range. You try to hide behind islands. If someone shoots you, you always angle, and you try to play it as safe as possible. And most importantly is that the most common mistake new cruiser players do is they play too aggressive. That is such a common mistake. I don't know why. For some reason, Battleship players play too safe. But then on the other hand, cruiser players play too aggressive, when it should be the opposite way around. Because the Battleship has armor and heal and protected citadels and all this stuff, whereas the cruiser is literally a floating XP pinata. And the cruiser should absolutely be playing it safe. I only left the islands when all the crossfires were gone, and there were the only ships that could shoot me were the guys right in front of me. That's only when I left cover. So, safer play in cruisers, especially in the squishy cruisers.